Raw Conversation has been rated adult by Dripping in Black Productions. Mature audiences only.
Hello everyone, my name is Leah. I am a mother, I'm a wife, as well as an attorney. I've been practicing law for about 17 years now, and right now I'm an advisor for a government agency. Born and raised in Detroit, West Side, I attended Cass Tech High School, Eastern Michigan University, and the University of Detroit Mercy School of Law. I love adventure, I love cruises, parasailing, I did some skydiving. I just really like to live an adventurous life. And my newest adventure right now is Raw Conversation, and I'm happy to be here.
What's up, everybody? Kente Rosser, aka Ross the Boss, among many other things. I am first and foremost a father, a lifelong educator, been in the educational profession for 16, 17 years now. I love having a positive impact in my community. I love helping people. I love building. I love positive energy. Born and raised in the city of Detroit. Proud graduate of Cass Technical High School. I think that deserves a round of applause. Proud graduate of Wayne State University, undergrad and grad school. And again, I'm just happy to be here to do this podcast.
Hey everybody, my name is Jay. Happy to be here to be able to connect with my community. I started out in education. Now I'm a mental health therapist. I also, do some work with nonprofits. I'm just out here, trying to be a blessing to others and also allow others to be a blessing to myself. So welcome to the Raw Conversation.
Yo, what's up? It's Key Brooks. I'm a real estate broker, entrepreneur, sex symbol, ladies man, and all that good stuff. And I'm from the east side of Detroit, so I survived the streets. I'm a father of one daughter. She just turned 15. She's giving me a little hell right now. Y'all know how teenagers be, but I'm here to give y'all some raw conversation. I want to share my abstract thoughts with y'all, so just vibe with us and enjoy the moment.
Welcome to Raw Conversation, a podcast for the smart, sexy, and grown. Now, here are your hosts.
Cool. So off the top, that's when we kind of just talk about what we're thinking about. I'm on a natural high. I was at my class reunion and it was amazing. It was, all of us years later getting together, and just the genuine love was it was there. And it was just real cool seeing, it's been a year, racial divide, pandemic, a lot of different things going on. And so for all of us to come together in a safe way, but you could just tell people are just ready to, just to kick it and be together and just good vibes. So that was real dope. What about y'all? What y'all thinking about?
It's a few things for me. So today I conducted interviews. I'm looking to hire some folks through my business. So I was doing some interviews with it just made me reflect on how far I've come, because I used to be on that other end trying to get a job, and now I'm the person that's doing the hiring. So I think that's a dope experience for myself. So I'm thinking about that. And then I was thinking about reading an article about New York City mandating that everyone gets the vaccine in order to come into the restaurants or gyms or bars and nightclubs. So that's been on my mind, because I had a trip scheduled for New York this fall, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. And it was one more thing, but I forgot. And I probably shouldn't have smoked before the show started, because I definitely lost my train of thought.
Okay. Well, for me, mine is not as positive. I'm just a little irritated today. I've had a thorn in my side for the last couple of months with my cell phone company. And I've been going back and forth about my service, and I need my phone, and it's been acting up for a while. So I really hate to pull out my lawyering skills and start writing some stuff to people. I just want them to fix my phone. So right now I'm just a little irritated.
Okay.
So for me, off the top, I don't know if anybody else can relate. This might sound random, man. We gotta come up with a routine. I'm speaking of myself personally. I need to either keep me a digital calendar, write stuff down in a planner, because things are starting to really pop off. I'm finding myself double booked for meetings and supposed to be one place or involved in one thing, and I'm having to multitask more than I should. And I think it comes from a lack of planning. or the need to establish a meaningful routine. So I hope that's helpful for others. If you are in that same boat, others who are out there, you're not alone. I got to do better. I have to do better. I have to come up with a system. If any of our viewers, listeners, followers have a system or a suggestion that they could shoot my way, please feel free to do so, because I'm in need of help, good people. I have to be, and I think of myself as a very punctual person, but right now I'm just spread a little thin. So anybody can send help, please, please, please do so.
All right, SOS. What is that? Gots to be more careful.
Yeah.
What movie did that come from? I don't know. We'll figure it out later.
Do you calendar now, Kente, or you just go off the top of your head right now? Like,
This segment is kind of how I live my life, off the top. I mean,
well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
No, actually, I have a calendar that I use or that I try to use, but I don't know, man. I think things come at me so fast and so frequently. I don't have time to keep up. Now, I will say to this point, I haven't missed anything, but it doesn't mean I haven't been on the verge of being nervous for almost missing something or literally being double booked for things. But in this digital virtual world, you can be places and not physically have to be places. And sometimes it's be multiple places at the same time. It's maybe not the best thing, but it is a thing. So that's kind of how I'm right now. So you know how I go.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So that takes us to our, oh, go ahead, Key.
I know what I remembered it. Boom, the light bulb went off.
Oh,
So I got an email right before we started. I got an email from Forbes, and they're interested in selecting me as a candidate for that next 1,000.
Wow,
So that
I
was
do not
big for me
remember
today.
that. Congratulations.
I know. Yeah, thank you. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be a good look. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
Cannot deprive our viewers, watchers, listeners, followers of that information, man. I'm glad you remembered that. That's
The
inspiring.
light bulb. Woof.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Yes,
sure.
that's
Show,
good.
bro. Thank you for sharing. And so that takes us to our next segment, which is we're going to dive right into the Raw Convo. First, let me just remind our viewers, listeners, watchers, followers, etc. You can follow us on all platforms at the Raw Convo. We look forward to your feedback, your interaction. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever it is that you feel so inclined to do. But we just want to remind you all that we, as co-hosts, have no idea what the topics will be. We have a set of producers who will type into our chat feature what the topics are. We will then read those topics to you all, formulate our thoughts around those topics, and then begin to drop some science as best we can that's unscripted, authentic, genuine around the topics. So, assuming that the topic will be coming into our chat any second now, if any one of our co-hosts would like to read it, then we'll go ahead, dissect it, get started. What we got?
Well, this episode's topic is friendship.
All right.
Friends. How many of it? That just popped in my head.
What about your friends?
All right, that's the one that popped in my
Right.
head.
Let you down.
They always do. They always do. Friends. I use the word friends loosely. If I call you my friend, you're considered family to me. But everybody outside of that, I'm looking at it like you're an acquaintance, you're a colleague, you're an associate. But my mom's always told me everybody ain't your friend, and that's probably the most valuable advice she ever gave me.
Well, that will bring us to our first prompt. How do you define a good friend?
I think it's based on experiences. I think the things that you're allowed to share, the transparency that you two have for each other, knowing that somebody has your back, and the loyalty. I think the loyalty is the key word when it comes to having a friend, knowing that you can share like valuable information with them and to know that it's not going to be repeated or thrown in your face. So I think that's the definition of friend for me.
Yes, when you're able to be yourself, you can just be you, as corny or as serious or like whatever you are, you know, it's like that's your friend. You're not having to put on airs or having to, you know, in some settings it's like, okay, I don't want to be too much this or too much that. But a friend is someone when you are your person, and there's, you know, there's also qualities of like loyalty and being dependable, and you know, sometimes you're helping them, but then other times they're helping you. So it's like a reciprocation, and you have fun together. You know, I think it's a difference in other relationships where there's also loyalty and other characteristics. But with a friend, you know, it's that you enjoy one another's company, and you don't have to see each other all the time. You know, we're be honest, you know, you might see somebody twice a year. That's still your dog, that's still your friend, you know, as you get older.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I do too. I agree with everything you both said. It's a reciprocal relationship that you have, you know. It's a give and take, you know, and I have, to me, a good friend is, and I have a few of them, you know, the shared experiences that we're doing life together, even apart. Right now, we're kind of in separate states, a lot of us, but we're still doing life together. We're checking in. I know everything about what's going on with them. They know what's going on with me. And no matter how much time passes, we jump right back into like we were together the whole time. And I can tell them anything without judgment. You know, there's been some things they've told me without judgment. And it's like, you know, you're not scared because this is your person. These are your people who know you, who love you regardless, unconditional love. So
yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. I think picking who your friends are is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. Picking who your mate will be, spouse, who you have kids with, is probably the most important decision. But picking who you choose to be friends with is one of the most important decisions you'll make. And it's ideally one of those lifelong decisions. So it kind of makes you wonder, as a kid, what are you basing your decision on to pick your friends? Because as you grow and as you mature, a lot of times those friendships, understandably so from childhood, kind of dissipates. And, you know, as I rack my brain, I'm thinking about some of my old, longest lasting friendships. They don't necessarily go back to childhood. They do go back to the high school, so the adolescence period. I think I made some very good friends at around that age. And I don't think I made terrible choices in friends as a kid, but I just think as we grow, as we mature, we kind of grow apart. And things are different now because back in the day, you remember you had a friend and y'all moved off the block. You really didn't have a way to be friends anymore. It was really not stay in contact, or that transition from elementary to middle school where some went their separate way. And then from middle school to high school, which again, I went to Cass Tech. I got my Winter Heart to middle school shirt on too, by the way.
Okay.
Shout out to coaches of Winter Heart. But, you know, you went from middle school to high school, you kind of fractured, went your separate way. So I think now it may be easier to stay in contact and maintain friendships. But back in the day, you know, it wasn't the easiest thing. So, but I think I made some pretty good choices during my high school days and friends, because a lot of those, the nucleus of my friendships with them are still long lasting. So,
yeah, I was with this weekend friends from elementary.
Yeah,
elementary through high school. Yeah. So, I also think your parents kind of, in some ways, kind of help you and who your friends are going to be, because it's like the ones you're able to hang with, you know, and so that friendship is able to develop, you know, because there was sometimes where you know, nah, you can't go over there. Nah, she can't come over here, you know.
Yeah.
So
my mama was like that with everybody. Like, I didn't care. They was gonna be my best friend. I ain't having no company, and you ain't going over there. So she wasn't having it either way. But
yeah.
I feel you on that.
So do you all think that, okay, so we know when we were younger, our parents kind of shaped our friendships, but do you think now as adults, you can judge a person by who they choose as friends?
I think to a degree.
Yeah, I think
if they're new friends, if it's friends from back in the day, it's like some you just, you know, like we went our separate ways, they do this, but you know, we have that bond. But if it's like as an adult and you have like people who are grimy, or you know, it's like, what's up with that?
Yeah. You know, I think it's one of those old sayings, birds of a feather flock together. You know, I think as we grow and mature, the people that you are around, they kind of represent you to a degree. To a degree.
Yeah.
I mean, you are your own person, but the people that you are around, I'm sure they hold some type of influence as to who you are in your interactions together.
Mm-hmm. It's a reason why y'all together.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I
So,
think
so what do you do though? I mean, if let's say you do have a childhood friend that, for all intents and purposes, what's your friend? What's your dog? What's your
I can't bring all my friends to certain places. You know what I mean? Some of my friends, you know, felons, killers, and whatever have you. I can't bring them to the police ball that I get invited to, or bring them to a business meeting. Even trying to create opportunities for my friends in certain instances doesn't work because they don't get it. You know what I mean? It's just they're never gonna get it because they are who they are. I love them for that same reason, but if you're my real friend, you got to understand that who we were ain't who I am today, and I'm going places, and you know, so don't judge me, but just understand that shit changes.
Because I'm pretty sure it's some things that they're doing that they're not inviting you to because they know that you know,
Right.
you're on, you know, you're doing different things.
Yeah.
So it's just different. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's very different. You gotta sometimes you have a set of friends for certain situations. And
Facts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm not gonna take this person to, you know, like Keith said, the police ball. But you know, if I'm going to hang with some old, you know, some old friends from the neighborhood, then you know, let's go hang. You know, I wouldn't cut my friendship off from them. I mean, unless it was just something heinous that they're doing. But
toxic.
yeah, but it's just, you know, I just know what situation I can put them in, what people I can mix them with.
So the next prompt we got, and we can segue to it. We can still touch on what we're touching on here, but what are some do's and don'ts of a good friendship? Some do's and don'ts of a good friendship. And I want to say this because something came to mind, and I stole this from Dame Dash. Shout out to Dame Dash. If you're listening, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, Dame Dash. I'm a fan of yours, so hopefully you'll be a fan of ours. But I saw him on a podcast, and he used the phrase or used the line that I thought was pretty witty. He said, when he's talking about a friendship or a relationship that was kind of fractured, but they were getting back together in that friendship. And so they were asking him questions about that specifically. He said, one thing we don't do is talk about what we talk about. And so I think that's a good tagline for a friendship is, you know, if this is my friend, I'm not going to talk to someone else about what my friend and I have talked about. That's, you know, I'm speaking in terms of they're confiding in me or advice. I'm not about to, you know, flip that on somebody else. Man, you'll never guess what my man said, bro. Check this out. That's not, you know, that's not kosher. That's not a good practice. So we don't talk about what we talk about. I think that's one thing. What else we got?
Do's and don'ts. Shit, don't play me. Don't disrespect me. Don't be a whole ass N-word. You know what I mean? Like, stay solid is the don'ts. You know what I mean? Do show love. Do support me. Do be the ear that I need to kick it. You know what I mean? When I need to kick it. So I mean, my do's and don'ts are simple, but I don't got much friends though. So
well, I think do's and don'ts is allow me to become who I'm becoming. And my friends have allowed that, you know? So, you know, I think when I was younger, I was more passive, but with me having to advocate for different people and groups who are sometimes the underdog or sometimes not being recognized, I began to kind of advocate for myself. So I'm a little more assertive. So it's like, recognize me as an adult, and just as I grow, you know, you got, you know, be flexible. And that's the same thing, you know, with my friends. It can't be like, oh, you used to do this or used to do that. It's like, we're different now. Right. So like, do be supportive. But don't, you know, like with me being a mental health counselor, before I was that, I could be on the phone talking to people, my friends, for a long time about stuff they're going through, because I wasn't like every day dealing with supporting clients who are going through anywhere from depression to anxiety to eating disorders. So it's like, it was hard maybe for some friends to realize that, you know, it's like, I cannot be that ear right now because I'm trying to make sure I'm good, because it's like, I'm spending all these hours in my career working with people, you know? So it's like that life change. It's been a life changer for me, because now it's like, yeah, you know, it's like, I can't be on the phone, you know, discussing certain things because
people
I never get a break.
That's what happened to me when I first started practicing. It was like after I dealt with listening to people problems all day, it's like I can't, I'm drained. I don't have any more to hear what you have to say. I mean, if it's something important, I'm there for you, but just for you to, hey girl, I need to vent, I need to do this, it's like I don't have it. I don't have it anymore.
My friends gotta know that I'm naturally detached. Like, I'm aloof. Like, I don't be in the mix unless I want to be in the mix. That's why when Jazz brought up the point of, I don't gotta see you every day. You know what I mean? Just know you can reach me. I feel like friendship too, social media helps, like, because it's your way of communicating with your friends and family without actually having to communicate with them. You know what I mean? As long as you can see me post something on my story, I share a status, you know that I'm okay. And if I can see the same, we good. That is our communication. And then when we do verbally talk, we can reference whatever it was that we seen, you know what I mean, on each other's page. But
So ironically, and I don't know how common this is for guys, because I think friendships vary by gender. But I have a set of friends that I do check in with almost every day, or they check in with me almost every day. And it's not always an extended, lengthy conversation, but there's usually some sort of check-in. And if it's not every day, definitely 2 or 3 times a week. But these are the same individuals that I do go to, that I do think know me the best when I'm trying to sort through a challenging work situation or situation in my personal life and vice versa. And it is one of those things to where if they do call and I'm not available, but I can sense the sense of urgency, I will certainly make myself available as soon as I can to help them to sort through. For me, they have really helped guide me for the greater part of the last 20 years. Because I, like many of us, have really wrestled with some really, really tough decisions, be it career changes, be it relationships, be it fatherhood, whatever. So I do think that for the most part, you know, I'm accessible to my friends and they are very accessible to me. But I also understand protecting your peace, because I too work in a relatively stressful profession. And there are times to where I just don't have it. I don't have it to give. And they can sense that about me, and they are understanding, and vice versa. So, but I do think I have a pretty good core group of friends that I can go to.
Yeah, I do show up. You know, you may not, even if we don't talk every day or we do check in when I need you, do show up. So that is certainly one of those things that I would say is, you know, in a good friendship.
Yeah, I think your friend, like your family, you don't choose your family, but your friends, you choose your family. I mean, your friends, you choose them, you know? And so like, I cannot imagine life without my friend group. Like, I mean, I just legit, without my family and also without my friend group, because they know when it's like, or I know when it's something going on. So if I know it's something going on with them, I'm checking in on them like every day. It's like, girl, let's go to the restaurant. And the same with me, you know, when they could tell, like, oh, Jazz is moving. Actually, I was on a Zoom call and my friend texted me. She said, are you tired? And I was like, nah. And so later I called her. I was like, why you ask me tired? She was like, it was something up with you. Like, what? And then I kind of shared. She's like, oh, I can tell. You know, that's someone, you know, that knows you. But yeah.
Yeah, Jay, it's funny you did that. I have friends that I can tell almost instantly when I call them what's going on, or if something is up, or if they're busy, even though they've answered. I'm talking literally instantaneously, first 10 seconds of the conversation. The tone, the inflection, if if it's the, the how loud they are, how quiet they are, they're the busy spot. I can tell you learn your friends over time to where you can really pick up on if something is wrong, something is off, things of that nature. So that's a good point.
And it's funny you say that too, Kente, because I have friends, even in the text messages, I can tell when something is off. Yeah. Like my good friends, my oldest friend, I've been friends since second grade. And, then I have a few more that are more like high school friends. So we talking 20 plus or 30 plus years of friendship. So I can send a certain text and the response I get, I'm like, girl, what's going on? What's up with you? And it's like, I don't even have to hear your voice. I'm so in tune with you because we've been knowing each other so long that even a word that you type, I understand something going on.
Yeah.
Like with me, I look at people in like my friendships or people that I interact with, I look at them like stocks. And either blue chip stock, which means you're my top tier friend. And if you know what I mean, it depends on how much I invest in them. Like, oh, this is somebody that I want to build this relationship with even more and grow and the type of value that they hold in my life. I look at them as stocks. And, the moment I'm ready to sell a stock, I got to cut you off. So that I just feel like friends are top tier, mid tier, low tier, and trash. Like, you just know, like my top tier friend, they gonna get it. That's the ones that I think y'all referring to when you can feel it through the text. You know them so well. Then you got your mid tier friends where they may be the friends you go club with. You know what I mean? You drink a 40 with if people still drink 40s. I don't know, but your friends are in categories like that, or at least mine are.
I think sometimes people put the title friend. It's used loosely, and I try not to do that. I also try not to use love, like, oh, I love that cake. I try to save the word love for when it's really love, and I also try to save the word friend to describe when it's really a friend. But sometimes it's used loosely, and I think it's so not a loose thing. It's a very I get it, but when I say friend, it's like, this is friend.
I got a best friend. My best friend is a female. I met her during the 1 year I did at Ferris State back in 2001. And we've been friends ever since. It's been strictly platonic since we met. And the advantages of having a female friend is that I get access to all of her friends, and she gives me a real good perspective when I'm dealing with women in relationships. Her being a female, she gives me a really good perspective on how I should approach something or what I should say or what the woman may actually be thinking. So that's the advantage to having a female best friend. And I'm just going to say her name because she's going to watch this and she feels like best friend is like this huge title. So what's up, Amanda? How you doing? Yeah.
Hey, Key, shout out to Ferris State. I did a year at Ferris State as well.
Oh, word.
Did a lot of growth at Ferris State. Did my first year of college at Ferris State, but that ain't got nothing to do with the topic. But since I heard,
I
had to jump on the Ferris State.
He's a school ambassador.
Yeah.
So Key may be on to something. So do you have true friends of the opposite sex? We know Key does. So what about the rest of us?
I
Not the
have
only one.
opposite sex, but I think it's something you do have to be cautious of. Yeah. I do have friends of the opposite sex and have had them for years and just straight up friends. But I think in general, as a general practice, friends of the opposite sex can be, particularly if you are a person that's in a relationship, is maybe a discussion you want to have with your mate, just so that there's a clear understanding, so that lines are drawn and that everyone is on the same page. But friends of the opposite sex, I think as adults, there's a mature way to do it. There's a way to not do it as well. But yeah, I think it exists. It's a thing. What y'all think?
It's rare, and I think it matters too when you mention relationships. I mean, I don't want a woman that I'm with and she got 15 play brothers. You know what I mean? And they're all friends. Like I think it's an arrogance to think that in a relationship you're not supposed to have friends and acquaintances of the opposite sex. That's natural. We interact with who we interact with, but there has to be a line of respect given. You know what I mean? And received. So if I got a female friend, I have no problem disclosing that, and we all can hang out. But in a relationship with me, you got to know my friends are my friends. I don't need you interacting just because she's a woman. I don't need you all in the mix or trying to play I Spy because you're insecure about a friendship that I may have with another woman. That's corny to me because I'm not going to be that way.
And again, it's like, if it's a friendship, yeah, those can definitely happen. But sometimes people put the title, oh, that's my friend. I actually hate that when people are really dating and they call them male friend or it's one of my pet peeves. So if it's like a friendship, for sure, but sometimes maybe it was, folks were kicking it, or it was like one person wanted to be in a relationship and the other person didn't, but they still want to hang out with that person. So then it became a friendship. So it's always like, I just want to be in this person's life because I really want to be with them, but I'm going to take this role now as a friend. So if it's really a friendship.
Well, since you brought it up, Jay, you didn't bring it up,
since
though,
I brought it up.
I don't think men can really be friends with women. I think that's a hard thing because men, we just wait for opportunity. We're opportunities. If the man finds the woman attractive, he plotting. It's a plan. Not saying that all men are like this, but 9 out of 10 men, you could have a whole boyfriend or husband, and your male friend, he's gonna be there to console you and listen to you, and he's waiting to catch you at your most vulnerable moment. And that friendship shit is out the door. I don't see many men just like, oh, this is my friend. We just friends. And because men don't look at women like, hey, how you doing, Jay? I want to be your friend today. I think women are capable of doing that because y'all can look at somebody like, oh, I ain't attracted to him, but he cool. This is my lunch husband or whatever it is, and friend zone them. Men, nah, we rarely putting women in the friend zone.
But you have a female best friend, so
that's rare. That's so rare.
You're saying it's rare. Okay.
I'm talking about it's so rare that it damn near does not exist because even me having a female best friend has caused issues in relationships with me because a lot of people just don't get it. And I'm like, yo, this is like my sister. Like my mom calls her daughter. You know what I mean? We're that close. But because you know that she's a woman and we ain't blood related and we can talk about whatever, yo, it's been challenging having a female best friend.
So
I think,
Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just saying, I think it goes back to people calling people friends, and it's really not a friend. It goes back to not being honest. And that's what gets people caught up because it's been several situations, I'm sure, when a girl, when one person in the relationship is like, oh, this is my friend, it's not, or this is my play cousin.
You're only not friends unless like y'all friends until you have sex. That's how I look at it. I mean, that's how I feel like most men are gonna skate through the friendship. Even if you know it's an attraction there and something may pop off. If it ain't popped off, men be feeling like we're in the clear. You know what I mean? Well, at least I do. And I feel like I'm gonna speak for all men from the east side of Detroit when I say we're friends, damn it, unless we cross that line. If we ain't crossed that line, we're friends. If we cross that line, it's a little shaky.
Let's hear what West Side got to say, Kente.
Yeah. Shout out to West Side. Yeah. So listen, I think that men and women can be friends. I think that when you're in a relationship, I think there needs to be some boundaries on those friendships. Yeah. So, like I said before, I have friends that I talk to every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week. Those are my guy friends. Although I have lady friends, female friends, they're not on the call log every day or every week. So, but they are a friend. I do consider them a friend. If I need career advice or advice that they are good at giving, I don't have a problem with calling them or accepting their call because I'm their friend as well. So there's some reciprocity there in that friendship. So, but I think it kind of crosses the line if we hanging out every day or going to get drinks or, it's one of those types of friendships. I think that could be a little uncomfortable of the opposite sex or the opposite gender. But to your point, Key, that type of lying in wait does exist. But I don't think it's specific to just men. I think that there are some ladies who play that role or play that card as well.
For sure.
Comfortable, wait for an opportunity. I think it kind of works both ways, but I think that mature, responsible adults can have friendships of the opposite sex but I think if we're in a relationship, I think the game changes. I think there needs to be some clear boundaries set and understanding by all parties involved.
Yeah,
I got a
don't
question.
think. Okay, go ahead.
Do y'all think y'all mate is supposed to be your best friend? Because I don't.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna answer
do.
that one.
I
Keith.
don't.
Hold on. Let me answer the last question and then I'm gonna answer this one. I think that males and females can be truly good friends. I personally have at least 2 good male friends that I talk to. Never has been any kind of whatever. But I do also believe that there are some lying in wait. My husband was my friend before, and I didn't, unbeknownst to me, he had feelings for me, and I didn't know. But he never, stepped until things were clear or whatever. So I think it can go both ways. Now, to your thing, Key, you were saying, I'm sorry, what did you just say? I didn't forget just that quick.
I said, damn, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? I said,
it goes both ways. That females also are.
Nah, I said,
should your mate be your best friend?
Oh,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
it. Okay, all right. I think so. Like, my husband is my best friend. And I can, some people just say that, but I mean, we live together, we share life together, we share everything together. How could he not be my best friend? That doesn't mean that I don't have other really close friends, but at the end of the day, he knows everything, even more than my best friend from 30 years ago. He knows everything about me, all of my insecurities, all of my faults and all those things, and he still loves me regardless of. That's the unconditional love that I said you need in other friendships, and you get that from your spouse or your mate. So I think yes, your spouse should be your best friend, and if they're not your best friend, then maybe something's wrong. But that's just
the foundation. I mean, so I'm not married, but I'm not married, and I see other relationships, and friendship is a foundation, because at the end of the day, when your mate does something that you don't like, you want to still have a care for them. You like them as a person. And when people are together based on chemistry, based on other things, and there's not like this foundation of friendship, when things get rough, when they do something that you were not going to like, when they upset you, like I've had situations where like I may have been hurt by something, but since I knew that person so much, and there was I knew them as a friend, I understood why they did it. It didn't work out. I didn't like how it impacted me, but it's like, I know that person. And so it's like a foundation. I also want to comment
agree.
Real quick about, I don't think everyone is lurking, trying to wait for, their friend's mate to mess up. Sometimes it's just, they're trying to control their feelings for somebody, and they just may genuinely be attracted to like the person they're calling their friend. I don't think they're trying to plotting and scheming. It's just, sometimes it's like, right time, wrong person, however the saying go. Y'all get it.
Yeah. We had a prompt pop up, but what was the prompt?
Oh, I don't know.
Can men or women who are involved in a monogamous relationship hang out with friends of the opposite sex? So
I am, regardless. If I can't hang out with someone of the opposite sex, and that's gonna cause an argument every time, then that ain't the woman for me. You know what I mean?
You have to. There has to be trust. I mean,
Yeah.
If your person is saying that's their friend, you have to trust them to be. I mean, it's about trust. And so if you believe that they're using that word friend as a cover up, then that's actually saying something else about y'all's relationship.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I have male friends, and my husband has female friends. Now, we don't hang out with them as much as we did before we got married. It's not, when you're not married, you kind of, that's your go-to person. Y'all hanging out. Where are you about to go? We going here, we going there. So, there's a respect factor there that you can't be spending a lot of time with them like that. But, I'll tell him, oh, I'm going to hang out with so-and-so. He like, okay, he even has their numbers, not that they kick it like that or he asked for the numbers, but because he's been around them, they've exchanged numbers. And so, they know each other. And You know, his female friends, I know them well. I have their information as well. So, you know, I don't have a problem with it. I don't want any new female friends. That's a whole nother story. Now,
Yeah,
the
some will
friends
pop up
that
this year.
yeah, that, you know, I just met her at the store and, you know, she my friend. No, we're not doing that. But, you
Yeah.
know, good, genuine friends that you've had over the years, I don't have a problem with that.
No,
For sure. For sure. I mean, that goes that respect,
Mhm.
that foundation, you know.
no new friends. That's the song says.
Yeah.
No
Nah,
new
I don't
friends.
subscribe to that. Nah, I want some new friends. New friends can show you some shit that old friends couldn't show you. They could take you places, you know. I know everybody like to say, "Oh, this is my day one" and all of that. And sometimes they are, but that day one stuff gets old too. You know what I mean? Because
You say it's
some
a
people
new
just
day.
it's a
But are
new
they
day.
new? But that's the thing. Are they new friends? I mean, we're not saying acquaintances. Like, we all work, we all meet people. You're gonna meet people of the opposite sex, and you're gonna talk to them. But that doesn't mean they're your friend. You know, there's someone you can get information from, and you can brainstorm with or whatever. But to me, we're talking about a friend that you're confiding in, that you're, you know, hanging out with, and you're, you know, telling your
Yeah.
deep secrets. I don't think you can have new friends like that. But that's
I don't think I think old friends, like I think people base friendships off the history alone. Like, oh, I've been knowing them forever. That's my friend. And
Mhm.
if that, I don't know. I just don't look at, I don't go out to make new friends, and some of the old ones just not friends. But just because we've been knowing each other since we were in diapers
Yeah.
doesn't mean that we're friends just because we still communicate. No, you cool, you know, but
It's all
shit, we
about
grew apart.
organic, right? Like what
Yeah.
organically happens. Like if organically people that since pacifiers is now in your life, then that's what it is. That's where it's supposed to be. If some kind of, you know, fall to an acquaintance, you know, I mean, it's just organically what happens. You know, there might be new chapters in your life and you meet someone and they're around for 5 years. That becomes a new friend, or 2 years. You know, it's,
Yeah.
you can't have all these rigid, and we need boundaries for some things, and other things it has to be fluid. Like whatever it's supposed to be is what it's supposed to be, and just allow life to happen.
Jay, I think that's well stated. I think we covered a lot on this topic, and we could go on for days and days, but friendship is deep, man. And I think we covered it from a lot of different perspectives, hit on a lot of things. Hopefully we gave our listeners something to think about, something to chime in on. Again, follow us on all platforms at The Raw Combo. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, drop a comment, hit us up, give us some feedback. But we're going to segue to our last segment, which is Before We Go.
Okay.
Before we go, what we got? Who want to chime in before we go? What we got?
Before I let go.
I
don't know. Okay, like what's a good album?
Every
Like,
time we transition to our last segment, before we go, that always pops into my head.
yeah.
Too.
I know. I think I read something. Nas is dropping a new album, so I know
Yes,
one of the
I did
producers
see
is going to
that.
be excited.
I'm
Yeah,
excited.
King's Disease too. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that
Yeah.
as far as music is concerned.
They're sorry, not sorry. Him and Jay-Z. You talk about
Y'all, it's fire.
going from beef to that. What do you say? Hear ye, hear ye.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Before I let go, I'm trying to some new music in my life. So maybe I need to check out some album releases and stuff like that. Yeah.
I got one for us before we go on the topic of music. I was gifted. As some of our viewers may know this, some of our followers may know this. If you don't, this is a good chance for you to learn this. I am starting or have started a record collection, vinyl, album. I got a few hundred, but I got a inbox yesterday from a former coworker who is relocating out of town and told me, swing by, pick up some albums. I got to get them within the hour. They're going in the trash otherwise. I tried to pay. I tried to pay her some money. All I had in my pocket, again, this is on the fly. She would not accept $1 for the records. I have literally 2 big Rubbermaid tote full of albums, vinyl. And this is a digger's drink. Those of us who collect albums, we call ourselves diggers. So this is a digger's dream. So I haven't even begun to go through them. I just listened to about 4 or 5 of them. First one I pulled out was Marvin Gaye album.
What? She was like, wow.
Yeah, so that's I think worthy before we go. So I just wanted to share that when we're talking about music. Leah, what you got before we go? What you got?
Man, I realize I'm so far behind on music. I don't know nothing about anything popping or what's going on, but
just the album days, huh?
Yeah, because Marvin Gaye, that's my kind of stuff. I'm an old school kind of girl, so when people talking about new stuff, I'm like, what? Who is that? So before I let go, I need to get up on some new music.
There you go.
Cool.
Hey, any of y'all watch like Power? Anybody been watching Raising Kanan?
No.
Y'all watch that? Really? That's a good show. So I don't know what y'all into, but yeah, it's based like in the 90s era, like the early 90s.
Raising say it again.
Raising Kanan. It's part of the Power universe. So if you've never watched Power, then you should probably just binge watch Power, check out Ghost, and then watch Raising Kanan and get it's solid.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
Great
Hey,
show.
I think that's it. I think that's a wrap. Another great show. Topic of Friends. Check us out. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.
You have just experienced a Dripping in Black production.